Welcome back, guys, to Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations, where last episode turnabout a blaze got underway of a murder and arson taking place in the embassy of Babahl, with the fake Yadaglasu seemingly having broke contract on the theft that was to occur. With Kay now held by Shih-na as a suspect, Miles has put himself under the command of Franziska to be able to investigate this new case, as we now check out the scene. Let's start examining. Because this is a national treasure, can I ask that you please not touch it? I'm afraid the only ones allowed to touch it are myself and the secretariat. There is a possibility that it's related to the murder, wouldn't you agree? Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, why don't we give up for now? We can force them to let us investigate later when we find some solid proof. I suppose I don't have a choice here. This must be one of the Prosecutor statues Kay was talking about earlier. Is it just me, or does this man look just like the Steel Samurai? They could be twins. Well, that's weird. Does the other one look like the German ninja? Should we check out the actual dead body instead of randomly the statue? That'd probably be a good place to start, wouldn't it? So our victim was the secretariat of this embassy, I take it. Manny Cochin. Ah! I heard that he was an admirable person. Very admirable. The cause of death is a stab to the base of his neck. He was lax in watching his back. We were fortunate that the fire missed our victim's body for the most part. If the fire had burned a bit longer, it would have made identifying him a hassle. So Mr. Cochin was stabbed to death in the middle of a raging fire. What in the world happened inside this room? What in the world, indeed. Notes on Cochin's body have been jotted down. Manny Cochin. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Well, isn't Manny Cochin the first suspicious-looking nook and cranny? This man, where do I know him from? I'm glad it did go that way. Really, Edgeworth? I know it's been a while, though. Is this knife the murder weapon? Some preliminary testing has been conducted. According to the results, the blood on that matches the victim's blood. The blade shape was also found to be consistent with the stab wound. I suppose this means that we now know the crime was committed with this knife. This knife's got some really fancy ornamentation going on, eh, sir? This thing practically screams artsy at me, too. Although it's also covered in blood, just like the last thing that I said was artsy. But the handle is pristine. There's not a single drop of blood on it. Speaking of the handle, I believe it has a butterfly motif. It's very beautiful. A butterfly-shaped guard adorns the handle of the murder weapon. Knife data has been jotted down in my organizer. But the more interesting thing to see now, because of everything... Wait, how is this not a thing? It's like some kind of spilled water? But that's not worth investigating. That looks well out of place. Huh. There appears to be something in his pocket. This key. It can't be. Isn't this the Yataglasu's key that was stolen 7 years ago? What? But that's... 7 years ago? Oh! You mean that case where I was framed, sir? I mean, which one? Yes, it's the piece of evidence that stole the life of Kay's father 7 years ago. Which was then stolen by Callisto Yu. What? Mr. Faraday was killed with this key, sir? I thought he was killed with a knife. Ah! Scruffy, at the very least, try to remember the details of crimes you were a suspect in. Franziska, as you will recall, Detective Gumshoe was not present when Miss Yu made her escape. Plus, even among law enforcement, only a few knew of this key's existence. I doubt that a new rookie at the time would have been made privy to such knowledge. I feel like the victim right now, all trampled on, sir. I suppose I'll just have to fill you in now. The secretary to this key is... The secretary to this key? Did it say that, or did I just randomly read that out? Oh, we're making mistakes. The secret to this key is... Now I'm like, did it say that, or was I a fool? A foolishly foolish fool that deserved to be whipped by Franziska. Oh, wow, that's amazing, sir. It's like some kind of magic trick. Yadagrasu's key data has been jotted down in my organizer. Yes, the secretary. I knew it. This is the same exact piece of evidence that Miss Yu took with her. I remember this beautiful pattern in the blade. I remember this as well. It's a vine motif, isn't it? Yes, it looks like two interwoven vines crisscrossing down the blade.
Mine, sir. I think it looks like a bunch of stars, if you ask me.
It's one of those six-sided stars, just like the police mark on our IDs. I really don't think you can call these stars. To say the detective's art sense is underdeveloped would be an understatement. The real question is, why was the Babahl Embassy's secretariat holding this? While we don't know how Mr. Cochin came to possess this key, we do know that this was stolen by the Ataglasu from the Compartment Embassy. That's right. Mr. Faraday had written that fact down as organizer. I believe this means that further research is required into the country of Codopia. Why don't you ask Ambassador Palaño about what he knows? Supposedly he has a candidate to be the next Codopian ambassador once long ago. He should be able to answer any specific questions you may have. Okay then, anything else going on in this body? It's a knife wound. It's obvious what he was killed with, but I wonder if it's consistent with the wound. Indeed. She did already say that, after all. Right, well, I guess I'll speak to you then. I can't believe that Manny fell among thieves tonight. Without him, I have no idea what my schedule for tonight is. Ambassador Palaño, I believe your schedule tonight will consist of listening to reports from the police. That and only that. I ask you to cooperate not only for your sake, but for Mr. Cochin's as well. You're a rather strong man, aren't you? How fascinating! Yeah, I know it isn't much, but I'd like you to have these. I'm sorry, but it would be against my principles to accept a bribe. Oh, no. These are simply coupons we distribute to promote Babahl. Remember, we offer a large number of discounts and offers when you visit lovely Babahl. I remember, the Republic of Babahl is known for its feverish tourism industry. So one's welcoming and the other not so much by the sound of things? It seems to be presented that way anyway. I was wondering if you might tell me a bit about the deceased Manny Cochin. He was my secretary and the embassy secretariat charged with running the whole place. He was an admirable man. His death is a great loss to our country. He was in charge of everything. Accounting, printing, taking care of our national treasures. I'm sorry, but did you say printing? Our country's primary source of revenue is our tourism industry. So, in order for us to print the necessary pamphlets, flyers, coupons, etc., we have a printing press here at our embassy. I see. Please excuse my forwardness, however, I feel I should mention that I have the distinct impression that I've met him before. Oh yes. Since you are of the legal profession, I suppose you just might have. After all, Manny was involved in the KG-8 incident. The KG-8 incident? The defendant who was found innocent in that case was Manny. So your Mr. Cochin is the same man as the one in that case. It's been 10 years. Manny recovered personally from that case and dove enthusiastically into this job. He was the one who planned this event and was to oversee this embassy's renovations. It really is a shame. He has such a bright future ahead of him. The renovations? What exactly did you mean earlier by renovations? We can't have tourists and visitors to our embassy think we're a poor nation, can we? So renovating the embassy is something of an investment. We may have a rather paltry budget, but we're trying our best to make do. However, I guess the only person who could have helped us do our best is now no longer with us. What about Codopia? Ambassador Palaño, I was wondering if I may ask you about Codopia. Codopia, alright, what would you like to talk about? First, I'd like to ask you about this key. Oh, what about this key? I found it sticking out of Mr. Cochin's pocket. I believe it originally belonged to this embassy. Is that correct? Upon closer inspection, it seems that this key is shaped like a butterfly. That's not all about this key. It's also capable of changing into a knife. Oh! How fascinating! Is it possible that the ambassador didn't know about the existence of this key? In its knife form, there's a flower mark at the base of the blade. I guess this knife might be from when we used to be a part of Codopia. Hold it! And how did you come to that conclusion? It is both of Codopia's national symbols, the butterfly and the flower. I suppose Manny used this key here at this embassy back when we were still Codopia. This key was stolen from the Codopian embassy 7 years ago by the Ataglasu. Ambassador Palaño, this key was stolen from the Compartment Embassy 7 years ago by Callisto Yu, otherwise known as the Great Thief Yatagarasu.
Oh, really? You were not aware that Miss Yu had broken into this embassy at that time? I'm sorry, I can't be of much help. I'm not very familiar with the details, you see? I only became the ambassador after Babahl became its own independent nation. But if Manny was still alive, he would probably know about what happened back then. Mr. Koshin and Miss Yu knew each other 7 years ago. But that doesn't explain why I found the Yataglasu's key here in the present. Okay, anything to present to him or anything like that? We've received a fair bit of logic, but we still haven't actually checked out the scene in its entirety. These shelves are lined with American souvenirs and memorabilia. It's really strange, isn't it? I mean, I thought this was the Babahl Embassy. So, why are there so many American souvenirs, sir? Perhaps the Babahlese are studying American culture and our tourism industry? If they have plans to make the Babahlese tourism industry truly flourish, then they would need to observe and study other countries' methods, I suppose. Speaking of tourism, I got these from the blonde guy earlier, sir. He said that if I bring these with me to Babahl, I can trade them in for a few buffets. Huh. How do you expect to travel to Babahl? Well, the whole world is connected by the ocean, sir. And for an all-you-can-eat buffet, I'll swim all the way to Babahl if I have to. And a few simple coupons really motivate people to do such fantastic things. Versus noodles, yes. Stop cutting his pay, he may not drown. Mr. Edgeworth, there's still something on this display rack, sir. Knives, huh. Although the blades are all that remain of them, unfortunately. I guess the handles all got burnt off by the fire. Ah, so even the knives fell victim to the fire. Ambassador Palaño, are these knives yours? Why, yes they are. They are a special set of ornamental knives featuring the national symbol of Babahl. These butterfly-themed knives, along with Alabast's own set of knives, are comprised of 3 knives each. But I can't believe the Babahlese ones have been reduced to this state. Ornamental knives, huh? There's a small release on the tang of this blade. Ambassador Palaño, what is this notch here for? Oh, that! It's a feature of these knives wherein you can freely exchange the handles on them, so that we can change how they look to fit the situation, of course. I see, so these knives were constructed so that the handles could be easily removed. The handle's pristine. Expecting us to check out the jacket, to be honest with you. But I've just basically gone through the whole talk again. Which was not what I wanted to do. I want to look at the jacket. Is the jacket important at all? Game says no. Hey, it's another butterfly. I believe it's a symbol of the Republic of Babahl. Oh, that's something we needed. National symbol that adorns the national flag, Alabast's flowers its counterpart. A drawing this big on the wall of an embassy. It definitely conveys a sense of overwhelming patriotism. Well, I've got a lot of patriotism too, sir. The reason I became a cop in the first place was because I wanted to protect our country. You may want to, Detective. However, I have yet to see the fruits of your desire. You don't have to be so blunt about it, sir. Okay, are you alright? You believe me, don't you, Mr. Edgeworth? You don't think I did it right? Yes, of course I don't, and I promise to prove that it wasn't you. That's enough chit-chat. You can investigate all you like, but it's only a matter of time before we take her in. It would be wise of you to give up while you can. No, I don't think so. Kay isn't lying, and my investigation will prove that to be true. Go ahead and try then, if you're that confident. I can't allow us to continue on this way. I must prove her innocence post-haste. We've got a safe. A small personal safe. This was Mr. Cochin's office, so perhaps he stored his most important documents in here. Ah, of course, it's locked. It appears we won't be able to open it without the key. Okay, we maybe have a key. Let's go to my logic. Wow, so much. Butterfly of Babahl, motif on knife handle is the butterfly too. But all the handles burn up, so it's kind of weird that that's... But I guess that dates the time. So this was used at the embassy, and then we've got the lock safe, it can't be opened with a key. We've got a key and a safe. I believe.
We know for a fact that the other glass's key was used at this embassy. Furthermore, we found it in the victim, Mr. Cochin's pocket, which leads me to think that perhaps it is the key to the personal safe in this office.
Good thinking, sir. Let's go try it out.
It appears I was correct. The key that was left to us in the victim's pocket. It literally turned out to be the key to the next piece of the truth. What do we have here? Oh, a secret bag.
Hey, there's nothing inside. Do you think the Yatagarasu made off with everything, sir?
No, Detective, I believe all we need is a closer look. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. It's got false back. What is this here?
Looks like the ripped corner of a piece of paper, sir.
No, I don't think it's ripped. It seems more to me like it's stuck in the safe.
No, you're right. It won't budge an inch. Not even when I tug on it. But I don't think I've ever seen paper stuck on the inside of a safe before.
Detective, I think you have it backwards. It's not the paper that's strange. It's the safe.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that the secret to this safe is that it has two compartments. It has a crack there. Yeah, it does tears out too, technically. Even just eyeballing it, you can see that the inside is a bit too shallow. Furthermore, with the unnatural way the paper is stuck at the back of the safe, I'd say that there is an extra bit of space behind the back wall of this safe. In other words, this safe has a second compartment.
What?
I suppose that you are correct in asserting that the paper is stuck in a unnatural manner. However, if what you say is correct, and there is a second compartment, how do we go about opening the door to that, then? As you can see, there is no other lock or keyhole in sight. Actually, there is one more spot of interest to me on this safe. Oh, yes, and I believe that spot is the keyhole to our mystery second lock. The safe and its locks. Right then, since you are so sure of yourself, show me how you deduced your answer. Well, technically, this lock goes all the way through to the actual thing, which is kind of weird.
Oh, there's all this, sir.
It's a little too oddly shaped for a latch hole.
Well, that's a funny shape for a latch hole, that. It's shaped kinda like a star, don't you think, sir?
Detective, I would hardly call that shape a star. There must be some reason for this hole.
Well, there's got to be some reason why this hole's shaped so weirdly, you know.
Am I overthinking this?
No, I don't think so. Maybe I'm overthinking things. Nah, there's no way I could ever do that.
Detective Gumshoe, could you please be quiet for a second? You're frightening me. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Well, you'd think that maybe the key would do that too. However... Is like from the end of this it's shaped like a star? Or is it from the front? It's weird to say, but he keeps saying it's like a star. Which is just kind of baffling to me. He didn't say that was like a star. I've just forgotten. It's just the inlay of this. Maybe it's the knife itself. There's a vine motif to the ornamentation on this blade, even if Detective Gumshoe claims to see a star motif in it. Between the blade and the handle there's a flower, and the key itself is a butterfly. This key was stolen by the Adagrasu 7 years ago from the Cadopian Embassy, which suggests that this was made while Cadopia still existed as a country. So that's kind of the motif that's being given there. This doesn't make much sense to me at the moment. But I mean, this is very butterfly too. So I'm just trying to like work out here. What do I do? Do I just use the key again? Doesn't the shape of this keyhole remind you of something, Franziska? The shape. It does look very familiar. However, I believe it's simply a latch hole for the safe's lock mechanism. No, it's not. We know that. It's just figuring out the thing, but the star motif has to be a thing. It's just for keeping the door shut. Nothing more.
Hold it.
Is that so? The person who used this safe, Mr. Koshin, made sure this safe had two compartments in order to hide something. Do you honestly think someone like that would allow the keyhole to the hidden half?
to look so obviously like a keyhole that even the average person can figure it out? You can't be serious. Are you saying that this hole is the keyhole to the hidden compartment of this safe? That's precisely what I'm saying. It's both sides the keys. And I will prove to you right now. Now the Adegrasso's key is the key that will open it.
Objection!
The Adegrasso's key! Miles Edgeworth, this had better be a very bad joke. Sorry, but this is no joke. The Adegrasso's key is the very key that will open the second compartment of this safe. We know this key opens the first compartment of the safe, but the keyhole you're talking about is of an entirely different shape than that of the key. So what am I looking at here? It's not from the end. Is it just the blade itself? Is it the lower part of everything? Oh look, and when you do that, when it zooms in, yeah, you can see it now. Let's go over this again, shall we? The Adegrasso's key was originally made to open Mr. Cochin's safe in the Compartment Embassy. We confirmed that as fact by opening the door to the safe within it. Now let's take a look at the back end of the key. Looking at the knife portion head on, what do you see? What are you talking... Ah! It appears that you've come to understand what I'm talking about. When viewed head on, the knife blade is the exact same shape as the keyhole. Gumshoe was right. Gumshoe led us to the answer. The real function of the knife portion is to act as the key to the hidden portion of the safe. But that's preposterous! Because it looks like a knife and was used like one to kill Mr. Faraday 7 years ago. We fell under the misconception that it was always meant to be a knife. But for both the safe and its key to conceal such clever tricks, whatever is hidden inside the secret section must be of incredible importance. Then it's even possible that what I've been searching for is inside. Scruffy, hurry up and open that safe.
Ah! Yes, sir. Open it now, sir.
These items, they're... It's a bunch of
Funny-shaped things. I guess they're pieces of art, sir.
You're in the way. Now move, Scruffy.
I didn't think I was in the way.
These pieces of art, they're identical to ones that have been stolen from various countries around the world. I figured as much. These are the treasures this section of the safe was to hide from view. I believe a more thorough examination is required. Smuggling ring! These are pieces of stolen art from around the world.
I wonder how much they're worth, especially this one.
Scruffy, don't touch those valuable pieces of art with your filthy hands. Why, do you have any idea what would happen to you if one of them were to break?
Is this me, or did she hit one of the pieces of art just now? She better not have.
This is the document that we thought was stuck earlier. I wonder what it's about.
Beats me, sir.
Why don't we take a look at it first before we give up, Detective? Mr. Cochin's name is written here on the last page. I wonder what the significance of this document is. What else are we looking at here? The top bit didn't matter. So I can't actually examine anymore? Maybe it's the plate I've got to examine then. What? What the hell am I, like, examining then? I, like... examine the bottom. So that's the only thing that matters? At this point? I might be missing something here. To build this sort of trick into one's safe is really something.
Yeah, it's neat how this safe has two compartments, but what's really impressive is that at the other end of the key was another key. I totally hadn't noticed.
I wonder if Mr. Cochin was just paranoid or if he had secrets of that greater value. These are secrets of that greater value.
Speaking of paranoid, I once sharpened both ends of my pencil, but then when I went to erase them, I got paranoid that I was going to stab myself.
Please refrain from dispensing your special brand of unrelated stories while on duty.
Yes, sir.
Right, I guess all I can do is back out for now. With that discovered, is there more things that I'm yet to do? The ceiling fan must have fallen from the ceiling.
The ceiling fan? What does one of those do?
Exactly what it sounds like. It does. It's just a fan that is installed on one's ceiling.
If I had one of those in my room, I bet I'd go dizzy from staying there as I slept.
Detective Gumshoe, in the real world we close our eyes when we sleep. Yes. So I'm guessing I must be missing either something examined in the room or logic that's been mixed together.
So the motif on the knife handle and a butterfly Babahl shows that it's one of the ones from in here. We'll link them, I guess. The design on the knife's handle. It greatly resembles the special Babahlese species of butterfly. It does, doesn't it? Plus it says right here, this knife is property of the Republic of Babahl. Perhaps this means that the knife used in the crime was found right in this room. Right in this room, you say? Well, can we link these two together, stealing the secret? That's why she's back. The card warned the Adagrass will steal the embassy's dirtiest secret. That seems like a job for Interpol as well, plus the whole smuggling ring thing. It's gotta be what called them back, right? To steal your dirtiest secret. Is it possible that the dirty secret the Adagrass was out to steal is in this very room? Dirty secret? Franziska, you're in pursuit of some dirty, underhanded dealings yourself, are you not? Something tells me that this is no coincidence. In that case, then, the person I'm looking for is here in the Babahl Embassy, huh? The head of the smuggling operation. I think I just might need to ask Franziska about her smuggling case in more depth. Right, well, I'm done with my logic. And now I can ask about the smuggling in more depth. Franziska, when we last talked, you said that you were on the trail of a smuggling ring. I suppose the reason you are here right now is related to that? Yes. After analysing the intel we've gathered from various countries, this embassy rose to the top of our list of sites to investigate, and this is what tipped us off. Ah! Haha! Now we go back. 2 of 3. We found the other 2. This accounting document. There's only one page of the whole thing, so we're not sure about all the details. However, it's enough for us to grab onto the tail of the beast. You see, this type of paper was made only in the Kingdom of Codopia. Which means that somewhere in the countries of Alabas and Babahl is the head. The one pulling the strings behind the entire smuggling ring. That's Franziska for you. She's amazing, pursuing this case with all she has. Alright, a Codopian paper document is added. Now can I do with something down there? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. There we go. I've now got a deduce button that I didn't have before. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Couldn't do it because I didn't have it. Take a good look at these documents, Franziska. It says that there are 3 pages in total, and yet there are only 2 here. Correct. Now take a look at the smuggling activity document in your possession. Tell me, is it not possible that your page was taken from this set of 3? Well, it certainly looks that way. By putting our multi-part puzzle together, we seem to have arrived at an answer. And it seems that you have now found what you were looking for. Yes, so with this it has become crystal clear that Mr. Cochin himself was responsible for the mass smuggling of Babahlese ink. Babahlese ink? Babahlese ink is a special product of the Republic of Babahl. However, due to a special reason, only a limited volume is ever exported. And that reason is? That's classified. It's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. In any case, it seems that the head of the smuggling ring was our victim, Mr. Manny Cochin. His base was in an embassy, thus it was hard for both our country and his to interfere, making it the ideal conditions under which to run a smuggling operation. It is so frustrating. I lost the person I was to rain judgment down upon with my whip of justice. Well, even if he is dead, we still have a responsibility to look into his misdeeds. You expect me to whip a dead man? Well, I'm not interested. Only if they're alive and give you a reaction, right? Franziska, you must know that Manny Cochin was the suspect in the KJ incident. Of course I know. On top of being the head of the top smuggling ring, there is the matter of what really happened in that case that needs to be resolved. We missed a little bit, but now our investigation is complete. Are you done investigating? You realize now, don't you, that this girl is the only one it could be? What? We didn't even investigate remotely around who it could possibly be. Now come along quietly, Yadagrasu. K. Faraday. You are under arrest for the murder of Manny Cochin. Mr. Edgeworth! Please, you have to believe me, I didn't do it.
I chased the fake Yatagrasu in here, and he was already... You have the right to remain silent. Anything you can say will be used against you. Or say can and will be used against you.
Hold it!
Of course, hold it. We're not letting you take her away. I'd like to help you reduce the number of mistaken arrests Interpol makes. Nice way of phrasing it. What is that supposed to mean? I believe I told you that Kay Faraday is not the culprit of this crime. Very well. I suppose I have no choice. I'll show you just how foolish your claims are. Oh, it's argument time. Why arrest Kay? Why arrest Kay indeed? Well, we'll argue with Shih-na. Next time, of course. I guess that coat in the back was just like another American relic by the look of things. A cowboy coat. Just all hung up and burned. Nothing of import, but maybe it will be. We'll find out. Now, to hopefully get Kay off the hook. She needs to help us investigate with Little Thief, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out more next time as we continue on with Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney Investigations. I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.